Peace. Quick. Think fast. Telepathic apologies. I basically came up with a little concept for myself. When I say for myself, for all, but I came up with this where the ego is like a disease. You could be consciously, in your work, like not even say working, but in a high vibrational place. You could consciously not hate a person. You could consciously know that you unconditionally love all of creation. You could consciously know these things and subconsciously know these things. But say, for instance, if you go around somebody that's in their ego, and they say, for instance, got ego strong in these places where they got a lot of hate going on, or they got a lot of lack of abundance going on, or they got that vibration where they like to talk about people a lot. If you're around those people for a long enough time, then those energies are going to spill into your auric field. And even though you may not be the person to talk about people or to do none of these things, that energy has found its way within your auric field, and now you got to deal with it. And so if I go around somebody and they are very judgmental, like most human beings, as we are before we start our spiritual our spiritual growth, we're very judgmental of each other. But say, for instance, if I go around somebody that's very judgmental, then I leave from around them, then I go around somebody else, and I go around somebody that may be in a place, like I say, dealing with something where the old me would have clowned them or been like, oh, look at that stuff on their face, or look at how big they are, look at how skinny they are. You know what I'm saying? If I would go around a person, after being around that person that likes to be judgmental, I go around somebody else, and then those little judgmental thoughts start to pop up. And in essence, they popping up as a thought, and since we all read energy, we read in each other's auric field, this person that I'm now talking to could feel a vibration of this person, like this person's probably judging me in their head. This person is probably, or even straight up like, man, that person judged my appearance on this level. This person judged, actually feeling a thought wave straight up. But also to a certain extent. But what I'm gonna say is like that's where the telepathic apology comes from. Whereas like if I've been around somebody that may have been on that vibe, and two, I'm getting out of even sticking and moving on that vibe. Of course, that's what the crystals are for, to allow for us to be in areas to to be in certain areas to help people. It's almost like scuba gear. Picture crystals are like scuba gear, and it allows for you to go into these certain little depths, of lower vibrations to try to bring others out. Because again, our job is not to just put ourselves out there on the line to help others, but some of us have somewhat of that type of mission, that we have for ourselves in this lifetime, or in this matrix. It's about helping people to that extent. But what I was gonna say is I forgot the train of thought. Sending that telepathic apology where all right, I go into this person's vibrational field, and they could feel the filth from somebody else's vibrational field within mine, and they could be like, they could feel it like, all right, this person, is judgmental of this part about me, or judgmental about that part. But then I send this little vibration of like, hey, apologies on these thoughts that's popping up. None of them are mine. Matter of fact, I am not my ego. That's why the 42 laws of Ma'at was kind of like, I am not the killer. I am not this, In so many words, it's just basically like, yeah, I know I'm in this physical matrix, in this ego, in this physical form, but I am not these things that are, at the truest of my nature, I'm a vibration. And if I do something outside of being close to source, then it's, it's not of me, it's of the flesh in essence. But I definitely send out the telepathic apologies, like, hey, like whatever thoughts passing through my brain, please forgive them. They are not mine. They're you know, lower vibrations are things that I don't indulge in. But just basically like giving that apology, like, look, apologies, these thoughts are not mine. Apologies, you know, this is something I pick up from somewhere else. Apologies, and sending it out as you're talking, kind of like say for instance somebody got some type of pimple on their face, and you done with judging people and being on that level, but you just come from being around somebody that likes to be judgmental about those types of things, and when you get around them, that thought pop up like, oh, look at that pimple on their face, you know, like something like that, and you didn't consciously feel
I'm
like,
having trouble
look at it,
connecting
but
to the
you know, that
internet.
thought.
Check your Wi-Fi network connection by going to set.
I don't know what just happened with whatever, but what I was gonna say. Dang, Wi-Fi situation. I don't know what just happened with my phone, with my tablet, but I was talking about sending the apologies with the vibration, but I forgot what I was just about to say about it, but it'll come back to me. That's another thing. It is what it is with that, you know, we channeling information. Something happened, it's like, oh, you know, whatever, I'll get back to it. But just getting back into again, the telepathic apology, and how somebody could feel, you know, a vibration within your auric field, and it may come off as one of your thoughts. So that's why, you know, you send out the apologies like, hey, this is not my thought, you know, this is not my vibe. And of course, you could say, well, yeah, you know better than being around those vibes. That's to a certain extent, because you can't control every aspect of your surroundings, you know. As a matter of fact, this divine feminine energy is definitely going to teach you that that it's not about trying to control everything around you, as much as it's about balance and knowing how to go with the flow. If something that is lower vibrational come around you, keep yourself in your center, you know, your center place. That's basically what it is. It's like just keeping true to your vibration in those situations, staying in the now, staying in that zen place, you know, of just observing. That's one of the most important keys, is being an observer. Somebody say something, this and that, you don't react to it, you observe. You know, your brain go to trying to make thoughts pop up while you meditate. You don't get mad or, you know, fall into the thought. You just observe. So just be an observer. You know, somebody talking about somebody or this and that, you know, you don't get into the conversation with them. Just observe. Like, even be like, I don't even indulge in that type of vibration, but, you know, but do your thing, you know. That's another thing about us being more aware of our telepathy, you know, and these vibrations. I think I made a video about that, like what an aqua moment, like what an aqua moment really is everybody's on the same page telepathically, but they're not actually speaking on it. So when you have that aqua moment in the room or whatever, like two people like each other, and the whole room obviously sees it and feels it, but none of us speak on it. We still all act like we can't see this obvious fact, and so it becomes awkward, because we all on the same wavelength telepathically, but nobody's speaking up on it, you know. And then that also kind of create like a lump in the throat type of vibration too, when you holding on to some type of thought or something that you should express, you know. But that's where the awkward moments come from, is, you know, or those little quiet moments, all connecting telepathically but not saying nothing, you know. On all levels. And I just think about it, like, you know, like different situations where, and I did make a video about it, because I was like, well, you know, you and your partner, you know, somebody walk in the room and y'all on that telepathic mode of like how I look at their shoes, you know. Just say you're into that joking, that old school vibe, you know. Not necessarily saying we maliciously joking people's shoes right now, which ain't nothing wrong with having fun and joking in the essence of not really being malicious about it. But you know, like you joke, you and your partner, somebody walk in and you and your partner kind of catch this telepathic thought like how I look at their shoes, and then it creates a certain type of awkwardness though, because for one, you know, you brought that up in your brain and then you're not sharing it with this person, so that's another awkward vibe. But again, it's like a thought just between you and your partner, and there's a little awkward air, and all right, the awkwardness is gonna be in the air, or gonna be felt by the person who's wearing the shoes that y'all clowning. So you know, as the person wearing the shoes, y'all kind of walk in, they're like, damn, the air feel kind of thick. I feel like somebody was just talking about me type of vibe. I feel like somebody, you know, was just joking about me or talking about me behind my back. And indirectly, what you feeling is those people telepathic little conversation being had, but them not expressing it and them holding it back. So you feeling that awkwardness. So that's another way of feeling awkwardness. That's why when you walk into a certain room, like it got a little certain thickness or heaviness to it, and you could just feel like, all right, they just finished talking about me. Excuse me. And a hiccup and a laugh at the same time. I'm drinking my little detox tea. But yeah, that's where those heavy little vibes come from, or you know, it feeling awkward. It's because, you know, the vibe was that either somebody was physically talking or, you know, telepathically sharing information about you or a certain situation, and then when you come in, you could just feel it, like feel like, damn, these people are just talking about. That's the eye contact too, where it's awkward for eye contact because those people are, you know, at a situation where, you know, the person is just talking about you, so they find it hard to look you in the eye. You know, and matter of fact, speaking of that, on a whole nother level, that's why with when certain people speaking on certain vibrations, I let them know, like, I don't indulge in speaking behind a person's back or something like that. And that's for all situations. It could be, you know, a brethren ragging on Caucasian white people, like, man, I don't see what. I'm like, bro, I don't get down with that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause too, it's like, here it is, you ragging to yourself, and then when you're gonna be around a quote unquote white person, you're gonna keep all that to yourself, and you're supposed to be a god, and this and that, and it's like, you know, the reality of that situation is like, nah, man, I don't talk about, you know, so and so just did this and did that, you know, and they just left the room. You know what I'm saying? Like all that vibe, like, bro, nah, I don't deal with that. I remember in my old workplace, you know, dealing with that situation. Like, we talking to somebody, you know, let's say it's three of us talking to somebody, and one of the people leave, and then that other person like, yeah, man, so-and-so be smelling like this or so-and-so. I'm like, bro, I don't even get into that type of vibe. Even down to even being upfront about it. Like, bro, I wouldn't be able to look that person in the eye straight up if I indulge in this conversation with you. So you could have that. That's for you. And I even keep it in a light place of, like, you know how, like, bro, I don't vibe like that. You could, you know, that vibration for you. You know, I don't deal like that. You know, on no levels. You know, anything that I have to say about somebody, either I done told them already, or I will tell them if I haven't told them, you know, to their face. But I don't never express anything outside. Like, you know, I express things to people's face. Like, if I say it behind closed doors, and I'm gonna say it when I'm not behind closed doors, you know. That's why my videos are up front like they are, and that's why people who like to lie and not keep it real, like, it's harder for them to be around me, and vice versa. It's harder for me to be around them, because, you know, I like to express myself in a truthful manner, in an upfront manner. Again, with the eye contact vibes, you know, people find it hard to look you in your eye because they just finished talking about you 1 minute ago. You know, and it may not always be the case that they're just talking about, but in some way, form, or fashion, you know, it's some type of misleading or untrustworthy vibe that, you know, that comes from, or that's the fuel behind, you know, the eye contact being all funny. You know, like the person just finished talking about, man, yeah, I can't stand homosexual people and this and that. And then you know, you get around and like, hey, it's like, wait, you just said, you know, and of course you don't promote hate, or you don't promote like talking about people, but I do promote authenticity. So if you feel the need to talk about these people behind their back, then when you get into when you get in their face, you know, express the way you feel. You know, you being authentic in your vibration. You know, so be authentic everywhere. You know, and dealing with all the situations. You know, or if you feel that kind of way, then you know, let it be known. Like all the hiding and all that. You know, some people say certain things and mean other things. Is all, you know. Back to the telepathy apologies, though. You know, so if one of those little thoughts or something happen to, you know, pop up, you know, just automatically right behind it, just send some love and some, you know, like a little, man, apologies, man, much love. You know, that thought that just surfaced, I don't mean it and it's not mine, or whatever the case may be. You know, this is my ego or my lower nature, you know, coming out as I'm speaking, you know, I mean, or as we're vibing, you know, that's my lower self thought form coming out, because it just it's coming out because it just was coming from a vibration that mirrored, you know, it, or whatever the case may be. So, and I saw that, let me say this right. Apologies for my lower vibrational thought, because it's not mine, and it comes from a place of my lower vibration. You know, it's not me. Again, to the 42 laws of my, and this is another thing too, for your own therapy of, all right, if one of those thoughts pop up, don't beat yourself up and feel guilty. I feel like, oh man, like in the world, like I meditate every day and one of those thoughts came into my thought form. I mean, just realize again, you know, with being out and about, you know, whether you're in public places, things of this nature, you know, you'll pick up on others' vibrations, and they may leak into your auric field, and you know, certain lower vibrations may resonate with the lower vibrations from your old ego, your old lower nature, old self. When I say old, you know, of course, a lot of us growing away from it, or have grown away from our lower nature in that essence. So it's like it gets reactivated when around somebody else, you know, vibration that's like it, you know. I think too, that's why I slow down on the herb smoke, because like when I smoke herb, like overly doing it, it'll bring out the old Carl Ray in essence. You know, matter of fact, Rizzle. You know, the old nigga, they bring out that guy, you know what I'm saying? And that guy used to joke about people on a certain level and do all kind of things, you know. But it's not me anymore. But the paradox of it is, you know, it still is me, you know, it's part of my lower nature self, you know, my lower self. It's like how, you know, the devil and Christ energy is one, you know, is one and the same. You know, the lower vibrations of ourself is one and the same too. So again, that the apologies is more so things just won't get confused, you know, so that person won't feel like, all right, that thought form is coming directly from that person conscious, like that's a conscious thought that person just had, and it's like, nah, it wasn't. But you know, that's basically it. It's supposed to be a thing fast. But definitely send those telepathic apologies out there, you know, and again, we can't control our environment to the T, but we definitely could make sure, you know, that we are in areas around people of a high vibration, so these little thoughts and things won't pop into our auric field like that. Don't forget your scuba gear, you know, I ain't got got all my crystals. I got my lapis lazuli, my rude raksha. You know, in fact, I got a video on rude raksha and lapis lazuli. But you know, got those crystals, aka my scuba gear. You know, and I also got a video. I think it's titled something dealing with, like, I think it's dealing with zombies. But I was like, how sometimes, you know. So say for like in a zombie movie, where for a person to go out and say for instance go to a store, they gotta get some goods from a certain store, but they gotta go out while the zombies out. Then they gotta take, like, they find a little zombie laying out somewhere and they take some of that nasty zombie flesh and rub it on them, you know, and patch up their body with that zombie flesh, so when they walking out, you know, they won't be seen as a high vibrational being or lunch. You know what I'm saying? Won't be seen as food to the zombies. You'll be seen as another zombie. I mean, you look the part and act the part, but in all actuality, you are a high vibrational being. And sometimes, you know, just like the crystals, having a scuba gear, you know, rubbing that zombie meat on you, so you know you don't get attacked so harshly. You know what I'm saying? Or you could move in these certain little areas without sticking out like a thing sticking out like a sore thumb. Cause I don't know why I felt like it was supposed to deal with a thorn. Yeah, poking out like a thorn in the sore thumb. However, you know, you'll poke out in these situations. So again, you know, either having your little scuba gear, you know. Because matter of fact, that's what the herb smoke was for, though, on the level of like rubbing the zombie flesh on you. It's like me smoking herb in certain cases would bring me to a vibration where I could socialize with people and not have to be on that super uppity. I'm on this high vibration and I only talk about things that's on this high vibration level. Anything else is like, nah, man. You know, smoke a little herb and be able to talk about Stephen Curry and the Warriors for a little second. And then, and two, again, doing that, meeting a person halfway, you talk about that, and then you also talk about the law of attraction and how, you know, the energy for Stephen Curry's shot comes from being in the zone and being in that timeless moment of the night. You know, like you mix in the high vibrations with the lower vibrations, you know, on a you know, little chess move type of vibe, or, you know, just a little ninja vibe of getting the information through that still, or, you know, providing that connection to the higher realms, even though you may be vibing off a lower vibration or ideal in essence, you're still keeping it in the high vibrational place, or bringing that high vibration into that lower vibration. It's basically it. Peace. And happy now. Now's to vibrate again. We're not going too far in the future. You know, we're not worried about what's going to happen in the spaceships and all that, and where the business is, what I'm going to do for the business coming soon, like how I'm going to, like, not too far in the future, you know, not too far in the past, worrying about all the things that I could have done different, or, you know, worrying about a past situation that still brought, like, you know, nah, we're not too far in the past. We're enjoying this moment, because by being in the future, or being too far in the future, or being too far in the past, you're not being grateful for this moment. You're basically like saying, forget this moment. I want to be somewhere else in the future. I want to be somewhere else in the past. Right now. Now is the vibrate, y'all. Peace.